afternoon here, and welcome to a new edition of the LosAlamitos.com preview show here for the races on both Saturday here and Sunday night at Los Al. Welcome back to the program. Now joined by the voice of Los Alamitos, Mike Corona. Michael, how you doing on this beautiful Thursday afternoon?
Yes, it is beautiful. Nice to see some blue sky returning, and it's perhaps on the upswing, the weather, as we get to the second half of February.
Yeah, that's why I had to switch up the background. You see nice and blue sunny skies in the background. It kind of reflects probably what's live right now. So I had to switch it up back to my old background. But good to talk to you here. Before we get onto this week's card, Saturday card, which is has a pair of stakes events to end the card, we'll dive into that late pick 3 sequence. Let's recap what happened last week. It was in the Derby. The eventual fastest qualifier, BP Cartel Policy, did return to form. He was a lot more professional, keeping a straight path from the inside post, and he looked very good winning in the Derby.
Yeah, he certainly did. It was a strong, convincing win from the inside post position. Jose, I don't typically do too much second guessing when it comes to these picks on the preview show. I'm normally philosophical, accepting defeats, but I've got to tell you, I'm still kicking myself for jumping off BP Cartel Policy, because I picked him in the preview show for the trials to the Winter Derby, and as a matter of fact, I remember that I did the preview show but was absent from the booth that weekend. Ed called the trials. I was on a cruise ship, and I don't normally bet much when I'm working, but I had a decent whack at BP Cartel Policy in the trials since I had the night off, and he won for me, and it was all wonderful, and big fan of the horse. So he comes back in the final, and I somehow found a way to work around him and pick something else. It was quite absurd in hindsight.
But by the way, do we remember what price BP Cartel Policy went off? I can't think of the price right now, but yeah, sometimes we zig and we zag right when we're not supposed to, but I'm pretty sure that was one that got away. But he looked, he looked sharp. He was a deserving winner of the Winter Derby. Moving over to the next night, the Winter Championship. I kind of said that I was worried about the rail draw for Jericho, and it came through. I thought Scoops was going to run big, but he also kind of hesitated at the break. It didn't help him. And the horse that they kind of match race in the trial was London Toby. London Toby stepped up big time, Michael, and I was ultra impressed and I was happy for the horse because he finally put it together and got that big grade 1, because he has shown so much potential last year and even the year before that. But boy, did he have to really dig in for his A game after getting pretty much sandwiched at the start. So London Toby wins the Brad McKenzie Winter Championship.
All honors with him after that sandwich at the start.
Yeah.
I tell you, Marcelo at 40-1 was being hailed the winner. He looked home, and it was giant strides late by London Toby to get over the top of Marcelo in a frantic, thrilling finish to the Brad McKenzie Winter Championship. And yes, you've touched on the problems that this horse has had through his career. Stomach ailments, all sorts of things have gone wrong with London Toby, preventing him from putting together very many consistent campaigns with regular races. And here we are, he's just turned 6, and he's earned a berth in the Champion of Champions, which is wonderful for the connections. It's so well deserved, because he's had a lot to overcome, this horse, and there's no doubt on his day that he's top shelf. In fact, I remember reading some quotes that Doc Allred and Scott Willoughby considered him pretty much the most talented horse they've ever had their hands on. So for it to all come together this season, it's wonderful, and it was a thrilling win. Congratulations to the jockey, Gabriel Lara, so new on the scene in the riding ranks, and just recently has established this relationship with the Willoughby Allred barn. And his cousin Irving was on Marcelo.
Yes.
I wonder what Irving thought when he glanced across in the last 2 strides and see what was happening.
Yeah, so the Lara connection there got the big exacta into Brad McKenzie, and I'm sure it was special. Very rewarding for Dr. Ed Allred and all his team to win the Grade 1 Brad McKenzie, named in honor of one of the longtime executives here at Los Alamitos, and Brad McKenzie. So not only does London Toby win that prestigious Grade 1 in his resume, also that holds a presumptive berth into the Grade 1 Champions coming up in December. So they've got their ticket punched in. They can map out the rest of the year however they want to. That's a big plus for a horse like that.
Am I correct in saying that the last Champion of Champions that Ed Burgart called was won by He Looks Hot for
I want to say yes.
for Ed Allred? And was he not 6 years of age?
Yes, I
We'll
believe
have to have another look. I have to look back in the record books there, but I've got a feeling that it was the 6-year-old for Ed Allred winning the Champion of Champions of what would have been 2019, 2018.
Yes,
2018.
And that might have been He Looks Hot, maybe 4th or 5th try at it. Like he had been in the champions year after year. It might have been his 4th or 5th try at it that he really came through and got the job done. So congrats to the Connections on winning the Brad McKenzie Winter Championship with London Toby. All right.
Yeah, would have been 2019.
Yes, 2019.
Come to think of it. Yeah.
Yeah, 2019. All right, let's move ahead here to what's at stake this weekend at Los Al. We have 9 races on Saturday night. We do have the running of the Connie Hall overnight handicap, named in honor of one of the most accomplished women trainers here at Los Alamitos in the history of the racetrack. And then we will conclude the card with race number 9, the Denim N Diamonds handicap, named in honor of that terrific racehorse. So let's start race number 7, though. Race number 7 is where you have a selection for us here on this Saturday night.
Yeah, it's an allowance at 350 yards for horses who've not won 4 times in their career. It's a field of 6, some good allowance horses involved, horses who like this 350 distance. I'm going with number 5, VF Bonafide. He was a precocious juvenile, Jose. He won his first 2 starts in 2022 and then had minor placings in trials to the Golden State Million and 2 million futurities. In fact, he ran second to He's Chickless in a trial to the 2 million, but he missed most of his 3-year-old season. He was off for a bit over 10 months and didn't come back to action until late last year when beaten ahead from the rail in an allowance, a very solid comeback effort off that extended layoff. As a matter of fact, you and I were just talking before we started recording, and we were both remembering that there were several occasions when VF Bonafide was entered and scratched in the late summer. There was obviously some little problems that were persisting that necessitated his scratching on a couple of occasions. You can see there's some some morning works, 2 in fact in the month of July, but he didn't actually make it back to the races until October. So the comeback performance was very solid from the rail. And then he came back to win an allowance on December 16, second start off the layoff. And we'll show you that replay. He had gate 6, and Chivalry, who is in this race Saturday night, was in gate 3 on this night.
Yeah, and VF Bonafide actually we got a healthy price this night. It went off at 5-2, broke outwards, but I like the way this horse finished that night.
Yeah, it was a strong performance. He had a clean trip after that little misstep leaving the gate, and he was too strong. Chivalry finishing well in the gold colours was up close to him, but VF Bonafide had Chivalry's number on that occasion. They clash again in this race Saturday night. Chivalry has to deal with gate number 1. He is a subsequent winner. Chivalry came back to win his next start, but he's got to come out of gate 1 on Saturday night. VF Bonafide will break from gate 5 in this field of 6. There's a couple of things that I like coming into this race, Jose. Number 1, I know that the race we've just shown you is mid-December. Again, he's somewhat sporadically raced. It's now been a couple of months since he last ran, but I am encouraged by the fact that he had a slick turn and work on February 11, over 220 yards. He clocked 12.3. It wasn't a gate work, so there's no video available, but it was a turn and work in the morning recently. So that tells me that he's ticking over in very good style. Also, the fact that this race is for non-winners of 4 races lifetime, I can't help but notice, scanning the PPs, that VF Bonafide has achieved his 3 career wins in the fewest number of races. He's only run 7 times to notch his 3 wins and 3 minor placings. All of the others have taken longer. As a matter of fact, number 4, Straight and True, is a 2-time winner. So he's technically eligible for an easier allowance condition. And he's 4-1, I think the 4th choice on the morning line. So it all adds up in my mind to VF Bonafide number 5, looking a really strong candidate to repeat.
And you got to be liking that this race is back to 350 based on what he did last time out, going 350 with that extra 50 yards.
Yeah, I think it's a very realistic, suitable spot. I think he's well poised here.
I'm going to call this the Los Points Invitational because, I've been chasing Via Bonafide. I've been chasing Space Flight. I've been chasing Fortuna Corona. This is my Los Points Invitational for Saturday night.
Yes, whenever I see Spaceflight's name, I think of you immediately. I know you've been on his bandwagon since probably day one. I just personally find him to be a horse that's worth risking more than supporting, because you just don't know what you're going to get for the first 75 yards. He just sometimes makes it so difficult for himself. There's no question with a clear getaway that he can be very strong at the finish. He's dangerous for sure. But I just personally think that he's a good bet against, and he's the favourite on the morning line. VF Bonafide I prefer from a wider gate with, I think, probably better gate speed.
Yeah, and we didn't talk much before the show, and I want to tell you that I went 5-2-3. So Via Bonafide is my top pick. So I went 5-2-3 here in the Nightlines with my top 3 selections in race 7. While I have you here, let's talk about the 2 stakes events. We'll glance over them. We have race number 8, the Connie Hall Overnight Handicap. By the way, you can check out losalamitos.com. There's an article written there by Orlando Gutierrez, our Director of Marketing and Publicity, about the race being, named in honor of the great Connie Hall. And I'll bring it up here on the screen to share with the viewing public.
Yes,
there it is.
Please do. I think it's a lovely tribute to have the race named for her.
For sure. You can find it at losalamitos.com here. The Connie Hall Handicap, named in honor of the all-time leading woman trainer in victories at Los Alamitos. Connie, who still lives here in Southern California, was a trailblazer in quarter horse racing. She became the first female trainer to win the All-American Futurity when saddling a Classic Dash victory in the 1993 edition, and will later become the second woman trainer to win the Champion of Champions when saddling the great A Ransom to victory in the 2000 edition of that prestigious race there. During her time at the Orange County track, Connie trained 845 winners of quarter horse races at Los Al, which ranks her 12th among all trainers here at Los Al. Her 72 stakes wins are the 10th most in Los Alamitos history, and Connie received the 1994 Mildred Vessel's Special Achievement Award for her dedication in promoting and enhancing quarter horse racing. So, the Connie Hall Handicap, named in honor of the great Connie Hall. That'll be race number 8 at Los Al. You can catch up with all about Connie Hall's accomplishments and much more in that story posted at losalamitos.com by Professor G.
She also trained Chicks Got Pizzazz, the dam of A Ransom, who herself was a Grade 1 winner. And her daughter, Jolene, works for us in the mutuals department at Los Alamitos. And I don't know what the chances are of Jolene being able to sneak away for a few minutes, but wouldn't it be lovely to have her down in the winner's circle to do the trophy presentation?
Yes, it would be cool. So we'll see that could get done here. I do have some photos as well here. Check out Connie Hall with D. Wayne Lucas there, winner circle at Los Al.
That was terrific.
That's Connie Hall there. Masterpiece Derby. Here is Chicks Beduino, the great Chicks Beduino, who went on to become a terrific, influential sire in the sport of quarter horse racing. That's Connie Hall there.
Yeah, one of Bay Meadows' Futurity, I think.
Yes,
in the
Chicks
era when there were quarter horse races up at Bay Meadows.
Yeah, that was the Bay Meadows Futurity winner, and of course, he went on to become one of the great sports greatest talents there, Chicks Beduino, a lovely gray with Connie Hall. Here is the California Paint Futurity. She trained plenty of paints there, and she's the most successful trainer of paints horses at Los Al. And her runner included 2001 World Champion Real Easy Cash and 2002 World Champion
Gee, it's a cast of
Chicky.
thousands in the winner's circle, isn't it?
Yes, look at that.
Who's that holding the trophy? That wouldn't be our dear friend Professor G, would it?
That it's a young, spry Professor G. Look at him, sharp as ever. Professor G holding the trophy, presenting the trophy there in the 2005 edition of the PC Creator 8 Cal Paint Futurity. Connie Hall there in the maroon blazer. That's a fun winner circle there, right there. And then we have a nice graphic here. Of course, first woman trainer to win the All-American Maturity Classic Dash in 1993. Second woman to trainer to win the Champion of Champions, a ransom in 2000. 145 quarter horse wins here at Los Al, 12th among all-time trainers, and 72 stakes wins at Los Al, which is 10th among all trainers. So truly a trailblazer, Connie Hall, and it's going to be a pleasure to honor her with Saturday's edition of the Connie Hall Overnight Handicap going as race number 8. So that was a cool look at memory lane there for some of the big races that Connie Hall accomplished as a trainer. All right, let's go. Race number 8, Connie Hall Overnight Handicap. Now, I do believe we'll have Chris wait after our segment, and I believe he has a pick here in this race. But race number 8, we have a very good field assembled here. We got a field of 10, full gate, Michael. Glancing at the field, I think there's going to be some very attractive prices on good horses in this field.
Oh, very open, very contentious. Yes, you're right that Chris's pick for the preview show coming up in the next segment will be in this race. So let him delve more deeply into the past performances and analyze the race. But great tribute to Connie Hall. Wonderful stuff, all those photos that you've produced. Sensational.
Yes, so I'm early look. I'm liking Southern Says just because it looked like she wanted more than 300 yards last time out. She ended up finishing third. She was drawn in gate 2. She's a classy mare, Juan Alleman. And I like that 92 morning line there on Southern Says. So at first glance, that's the horse I will lean to. But it's going to be a very good edition of the Connie Hall.
Yeah, I don't know which way I would point in this race. 8-1 for Tina Rena is appealing. But I'm not actually going to give you a pick. I just don't know where I'm going with that race. And knowing that Chris liked a horse there, I just didn't really get too deeply involved.
Yes, and I haven't looked at the text thread, so I don't know if the two is his pick as well. So I'm looking forward to talking to Chris about that race. All right, let's go to the Denim N Diamonds, race number 9, 350 yards. This is for the 4-year-olds and up. A good purse of 35,000. Very good field. We have a numerous fillies and mares coming out of the Grade 1 Charger Bar here. And I know you kind of were swaying back and forth in what race you wanted to give me a pick. You gave me Be a Bonafide. But I know there was a horse that caught your attention a little bit in race number 9.
Yes, it took me a while to decide which one to go with for this preview show. I ended up on VF Bonafide in the 7th, but I also am keen in the 9th, the Denim N Diamonds, on number 10, AJ Bourne Runnin', who is 3-1. Second choice on the morning line, I think.
Yes.
I think she'll be very tough. She was beaten a nose from gate 10 in a stakes race last fall, beaten by Political Rivalry and Political Royalty. Mm-hmm. And she's just got so much stakes pedigree. She's been so good in so many races. She was beaten a half length in a Los Alamitos Oaks, beaten a length in a Golden State Derby. She qualified to both the Golden State Million and 2 Million Futurities at the end of her 2-year-old season. And I think she really looks good here from gate 10 with Eduardo Nicasio jumping aboard for Jaime Gomez. So I just think it's a lovely draw and a great opportunity for her to get her first win in some time. It's been a while since she's had a photo taken, and it would be a well-deserved return to the winners list for AJ Bourne Runnin'. She's a classy grey mare.
Yes, and it might have been a while. It might have been a long time, and I've been kind of on the same page where I think she's been unlucky in a few starts. She's been dancing in some of the big dances, and I just love her post. So I'm going to make her my play of the night in this show here. She is going to be my pick. I love the draw. I think if she's going to fire a big effort, I think it's going to be tonight. I really like the effort two back, even though she only missed by a nose. It was a very good run behind splitting a couple of very talented runners in Political Royalty and Quirky Bitty Gas. So I'm with you. I like AJ Bourne running on Saturday night. I think the post is going to give her the opportunity to fire her best run. So I like her on the outside. I'm just hoping for a clean break under Eduardo Nicasio.
Yeah, and Eduardo's sitting on 99 career stakes wins at Los Alamitos, so he's got a chance here. I think a good chance to reach the century mark. Cir Lady Moon won this race last year amidst an extremely productive season, and you have to put a pen through the charger bar failure when she was sent off the favourite. She ran into a fair bit of trouble in running, and obviously can bounce back and be very dangerous. She's the fractional morning line favourite, gate 4. Nemfet, we know, possesses an explosive kick. I don't know whether the gate number 1's really going to do her any favours, but she's very dangerous if she's looming with some space to operate in the second half of the race. And there's plenty of other good quality mares. It's an excellent race, part of this fantastic series that's been established by the racing office for the fillies and mares across the whole season at Los Alamitos. The horsemen really supported it last year, and quite clearly that's going to be the same in 2024.
Yeah, it creates a little bit of rivalries. You see a lot of rematches, a lot of horses kind of facing each other. So this series has been well supported, and it's going to be a good race once again. A good renewal of the Denim N Diamonds going on to race number 9. I'll take the 10. AJ Bourne running there at 3-1 for Jaime Gomez and Eduardo Nicasio.
So you like both of my picks, both of my horses. Gee, there's a bit of extra weight on their backs.
Yes, and we did not, as we bring you here back on camera, we did not talk to this before the show, so my picks were submitted for the Nightlines. And yes, both of your top picks ended up being my top picks in the Nightlines. So the weight is on. The pressure's on, Michael. With those two selections. So that's going to be fun there to be involved with the Saturday night programming on FanDuel TV for the great Denim Diamonds and, of course, the Connie Hall overnight handicap. All right, Michael, thank you for sticking along with me talking about the stakes events for this weekend, and in addition to your pick. By the way, you also gave us Frivolous, I think, on the show, right? Before you left to vacation. I think, wasn't Frivolous one of your picks?
I did like Frivolous. I don't know if it was a preview show pick, but I know that we were talking in some context or capacity, and I did like her on that occasion. But remember, after the race, we were talking how much post positions come into play, and probably it was the outside draw that made the difference for Frivolous on that occasion, as it might well do for our grey mare in gate number 10 on Saturday night.
Yeah, AJ Bourne. Hey, my son's named AJ. I have to back. I'm like forced to back all the AJs. So I'm kind of, my hand is out. My hand is dealt.
Yeah, go with
it. Yeah. Okay. Have a good rest of your Thursday. Good talking to you, and we'll talk to you here Saturday at Los Alamitos.
Well, now hang on. We can't mention AJ without acknowledging today being the birthday. You've got a dual birthday in the family. Your lovely bride Karina and one of your daughters, Jackie.
Yeah, my firstborn, Jacqueline. So Jacqueline and Karina, happy birthday to my wife and my daughter. Today we're recording on Thursday, February 22nd. Today is their birthday. So happy birthday to my wife and my daughter. Actually, their nicknames. The bankroll manager, that's my wife for a long time. She holds the bankroll. She just gives me 100 every now and then. I get to play the ponies. And my daughter, for a long time, she was my bad beat therapist, because I would get home after tug beat from Los Al, and she would sit there. We were playing with her dolls or whatever. She would listen to my bad beat stories. Now she's 8 years old, Michael. She don't care about my bad beats. So she don't listen to my bad beats. It's all over. But the bad beat therapist turns 8 today, and my lovely life turns happy birthday as well today. So happy birthday to them.
And how has Jackie handled sharing a birthday with her mum? Has that ever been an issue?
Yes, funny you mentioned that. So when she knew that a birthday was a birthday, I think maybe she was 2-3 years old. I think when she turned 3, so when she turned 2, she knew what a birthday was now. when she turned 3, she looked over at her mom and she was like, again? What's going on? Like, why is your birthday on my birthday again? Like, what's going on, mom? So she was like, we got a big kick out of it that she kept saying, like, again, mom, what's the deal? Why are you taking over my birthday? Now that she's 6, 7, 8 years old, she gets the idea. She's like, okay, we're the same date. We're gonna share it forever. So yeah, when she was a little tiny baby, she would get at her mom. She's like, Mom, what's going on? Why are you sabotaging my birthday again? So
stuff.
we got a good kick. It was 3 or 4 years that she kept nagging Mom because she was sabotaging her birthday.
Well, wish them both a very happy birthday from me, please.
I appreciate it. We're gonna have pozole and pizza, so it's gonna be a good afternoon here in Casa de los
Pozole and
Juanes.
Pizza.
Yes,
That's quite a double.
Yeah, the kiddos got the pizza. The grown-ups are gonna get pozole, so it's gonna be a good afternoon here. Yes, Casa de los
I'm a big
Juanes.
fan. Yeah. Okay.
All right. If there's any leftovers, I'll save you a plate and I'll bring it for Saturday. It's very good. It's very good.
Excellent. I would appreciate
All right.
it. Okay.
All right. Have a good Thursday. Talk to you on Saturday.
Hoorah.
This Saturday night at Los Alamitos Racecourse, we'll have a pick six carryover of $28,534. And with a new money wager on Saturday night, the total pool could be over $100,000. It's a pick six carryover this Saturday night at Los Alamitos with a total pool that could be over $100,000. Plus, play night racing's best bets, the early and late pick four. It's pick six carryover night, Saturday at Los Alamitos.
Racing!
Welcome back to the program. And yes, based on past history, Chris, that one night carryover usually crosses the over $100,000 mark with just one night. So it should be a healthy pick six here on Saturday night with 9 races on the card.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice size pool. That in fact, with a tough ticket on my numbers is so you got some quarter horse races that could go a number of ways. For the last couple of races could go 3 or 4 or 5 deep. It's how close on my chart. So anything could happen. Could we say double carryover, big number? It's a question mark because we got some wide open races.
Yeah, there is a possibility that it could be another carryover because it's just that tough. It truly is a very good competitive sequence, including with the pair of stakes events to end the night in races 8 and 9. Let's go to race number 8. That's where you're going to give us a play here for this weekend. Race number 8, the Connie Hall overnight handicap. We showed those nice photos there. Thank you to Professor G for those photos there, sending them over. That gives us a little blast from the past as far as enjoying some of those big wins for the barn of Connie Hall. Here are the past performances. Race number 8, Chris, 350 yards in the Connie Hall overnight handicap. Tell us, who did you like in the spot?
Well, I gave a slight edge to I Live for Candy, the 3-horse, second time over the racing oval, second time for Monte Rosa. This horse came off a 108-day layoff coming from Indianapolis and ran a very good race. This horse is a very close beat in the neck. I think the horse was 6, but had some trouble early, broke a little slow, was kind of slow in the stride, but finished pretty well in kind of close quarters in the wire. And they seemingly always improve second time over the oval and second time for Monte Rosa. This is a closely matched affair, but with expected improvement, the horse very well could be right there early and late at 7-2 on the program.
And let's take a look at I Live for Candy back on January 7th in the Dashley. She went off at 3-1 in that event, so she took plenty of good support here for the Monte Rosa. And she was in gate number 8, right? Yeah, gate number 8 here in this field of 10. Talk to me about this trip that she had this night.
Yeah, she's standing pretty well inside the gate. And then when the gates do open up, she breaks just a little bit slow away from the barrier. She kind of bobbled in and drifted in away from the gate. She's crossed right there and kind of in close quarters near the wire. Past the gap. And she's under a hand shove and she's asked a little bit midway. But watch her finish. She finishes pretty well in kind of close quarters. This horse was starting out very, very well on her own, beating the neck for the whole thing. And she was, like I said, on her own in close quarters near the wire. And with expected improvement, a clean start, she could be right there early and late there at 7-2 on the program and be a big factor in the Connie Hall.
Yeah, and you're liking the fact that it was her first local start, first start of the year. So you're kind of projecting that there could be improvement to be had for her in this spot, right?
Yes, they always improve second time on the Los Alamitos Oval. And this horse, like I said, ran a very good race. Had a little trouble early, was in kind of close quarters, but was starting out pretty well near the wire and galloped out strong. So I'm going to give her a big look at the outcome as my preview show selection and top choice on my numbers, and it closely matched Connie Hall.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Yeah, a good late daily double and a good pick six sequence as well. Let's go and take a quick glance at race number 9. I also talked to Michael Run about this event. Very good field here in the Denim N Diamonds. I let him know that AJ Born Running is going to be my play of the night, Chris. And he said that he also liked this horse. Don't tell me you also like this horse as well.
Yes, I showed you my charts and my selections. This horse was very impressive. 2 starts back from post number 10, when should have probably won that race and had some trouble in her last effort. But the outside post, a big long stride and gray, has a big look at the outcome, and is my top choice, closing it out there. And so a lot of weight on her back in that final affair.
There's going to be a lot of weight on AJ Born Running, as all three of us like him as a top pick. Who's your second choice in this race?
I always have to give Nymphet a look at the outcome. She's got so much talent, but she's her own worst enemy. She always finds trouble, and she always finishes like a freight train. And hopefully from the inside post, a clear path to the wire. If she breaks a little slow, as per usual, she very well could be starting out pretty well down the lane. I wish it was 400 yards for her. She's got a ton of talent there for Jimmy Glenn, the doctor. But if she gets away clean, she has to look at the outcome to grab a slice of the pie at the very least there at, I think, a nice little price there. And Denim N Diamonds.
Yeah, she's her and then Fett and She Goes Up, the 8 horse. They have the similar running styles, right? They really can flash a good, strong late kick. It's all about the break for them. So I actually went as my top 3. I went AJ Born Running, She Goes Up, and Fett. So I've got those 3 as my top 3 in the Denim N Diamonds.
Yeah, She Goes Up is a 4th pick on my numbers. This is a horse that, like I said, has found numerous instances of trouble, but she can really, really finish. She's been a W on my chart so many times, which is a horse to watch. Yeah. So she gets away clean. Like last time, she leaned back at the start. It was crossed, but finished well. So she gets away clean. Got to look at the outcome. It's a closely matched affair. It could go a number of ways.
Man, that's a lot of weight on AJ Born Running. A lot of weight with all 3 of us picking that one. That's the top choice.
Yeah, and closing out the late pick 4. Don't forget the pick 4s we had last week. Everything with a comma. 1,000, 2,000, and we had 2 $3,000 pick 4s. So the best bet all night race in the pick 4s here at Los Alamitos, where any kind of price pumps up the return immensely. Don't save that $16 or $18 or $24 and cost yourself like $1,300, like somebody that we know very, very well.
Yes, I know. You could have just used the extra $12, $14 that you had. You could have just thrown them in. Hey, look, in the barn of Angie Aquino's on a roll with the long shots to start the card with the thoroughbred. So she's definitely one of the keys. I think she was actually Angie Aquino was the key to the pick 6 carryover as well. She had a quarter horse winner at a big price as well. Yeah,
she's just sharp as attack. Quarter horses and or turn horses here this season, as per usual, but she's going great guns right now.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Chris, that's going to wrap it up here, not only for our segment, but also for our show. Thank you to our viewers here for watching this edition of the Los Alamitos preview show there. You can find it at losalamitos.com on the YouTube page and all the social channels as well. Chris, with that, let's hope we're all right about AJ Born Running, because that'll be a nice way to close out the pick 4 and the pick 6 as well. Have a good rest of your Thursday, and I'll see you this weekend down at Los Alamitos.
Let's try to get that big gray flash on the outside blowing on by there on Saturday night.
I like the way you think, my friend. Have a good day, and we'll see you next weekend here on the losalamitos.com preview show.
All right, boss. Have a good night.
This Saturday night at Los Alamitos Racecourse, we'll have a pick 6 carryover of $28,534. And with the new money wagered on Saturday night, the total pool could be over $100,000. It's a pick 6 carryover this Saturday night at Los Alamitos with a total pool that could be over $100,000. Plus, play night racing's best bets, the early and late pick 4. It's Pick Six Carryover night, Saturday at Los Alamitos.
Racing!